Welcome everybody to Your Light Heals with a special guest today, brought to you by Wellness Superheroes, and that's me, Jodi, and
Yeah, I'm Annie.
and Annie. And we're starting a new series that's specifically about the LifeWave patches. And our first official guest on this series is Cheri Tamburro. Is that how you say your last name, Cheri?
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. And also Noeline Levenstein is one of our wellness superheroes, and she comes on every once in a while as a special guest. And Noeline, you want to say a little bit about what you do?
Hi, thank you. I'm a health and wellness educator and coach, working a lot with children who have got autism or ADD or ADHD or any of the above, and looking at detox and using the patches to bring them back to wellness.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Cheri. So you want to start with what was going on with you and Eli before you got introduced to the patches, what your life was like?
Yeah, so Eli was born with a very rare disorder called classic lactosemia, and when he was born, it wasn't detected soon enough. And so 14 days later, he ended up dying in the hospital. They brought him back, and he had a lot of different complications, setbacks, brain damage, fine motor skill issues. 4 years ago, he started having seizures. He got up to about 15 vocal seizures a day. And then we thought we'd make progress, and then he ended up having a stroke. And so he lost a lot of stuff that we taught him. And he's been stuck in a kindergarten work for about, preschool work really, for about 5 years. And going through 50 diapers every single week during the day. And anything we've ever tried, and we've been to different hospitals all over, and nothing has been able to help him progress and help his brain develop like it needs to. And the last doctor told me that he would probably be stuck at 4 mentally for the rest of his life. And I have never accepted that. So I've always pushed forward, and I came out with an invention called Kaba. It's a traveling changing table for special needs, and we got a 20-year patent on it. And I started pushing my boundaries and pushing myself out there to talk about my invention. But my anxiety overtook me, so I didn't think I would be able to share it much. I ended up pushing myself to go meet a lady, actually a whole group of business women, and sharing my invention, which I talked myself out of it 16 times that day because I didn't want to go. And I ended up meeting a Christian lady there sharing this patching technology.
And who was that?
It was Susan Cruz, Dr. Don and Susan.
Oh, yeah. We love them.
Yep.
Wow.
So she shared that with me that night. Well, actually, I think I called them the next day because God kept pushing and nudging me to call and talk to her about it. Because she didn't say much, and we didn't have a lot of time to talk about each of our businesses. And so I had to call them on the phone. And I asked her, do you think this would help my son? I didn't even think about what it would do for my body. I don't even know why, but yeah.
Well, I can't imagine what your life was like as a mom, having to deal with everything that you had to deal with to take care of Eli. That must have been exhausting.
Yeah, sun up to sundown, making sure he's bathed every morning because, at nighttime he always has accidents, and then getting him dressed because a lot of times his fine motor skills weren't there to even button his pants, zip up his pants. So we'd try to get one so big enough to pull over so you wouldn't have to do that. Giving him one-step instructions. And most of the time I would have to follow through to make sure it got done because he would lose his way halfway through the instruction. And most of the time now, unless he's having an off day, he can do 5-step instructions now. And he can button his pants. So that's awesome. Major progress, right, Bob?
So tell us, I want to know, when you started Eli on the patches, and how fast did you notice a difference? And tell us about his progression.
Mm-hmm. We started him back in last May, and within the first 24 hours, I noticed a light bulb going on, and you could tell just pure, in his eyes, focus. And I'm like, didn't want to say anything to Susan. Day two, he started asking questions that I wasn't prompting him, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. They're just something I didn't want to get too excited because I thought it was too good to be true, or maybe I jinx it. Is kind of what I told Susan.
And you started him on X39 and Eon. Is that what you started him on? Okay.
Yeah. And by day 5, there was just no doubt about it that this technology was working. He went that week only. He only went through 5 diapers.
So in 1 week, huge change.
5 days.
5 days. Wow. Yeah. And I've noticed that it seems to work quicker for children and for people with brain issues. It seems, because that's such a vital organ that I feel like, if people have brain issues, it seems to go there first from all the testimonials that I've watched.
It's crazy. I told Dr. Don I wanted to patch him for sure, but I was never going to sell this.
Right. That's what we said. We were like, I wanted to heal myself because I was dying.
Dr. Cashel said the other day that whoever enrolled her was like, oh, you just wait, you'll get your miracle, and then you won't shut up about it. So.
That's what Dr. Don told me, and I said, there's no way. I have another business. I work nights. I homeschool, and I have my invention I'm trying to get off the ground. I can't sell another thing. He's like, just wait.
Yeah. So tell us. So 1 week, this huge change, and then what?
As the months progressed and stuff, we noticed he had absolutely no seizures. We started weaning him off his seizure meds, and he has been seizure free since like the 3rd month mark, with no medication needed. And there's no OT or PT or speech really re-enrolled him because I don't feel the need that he needs that now, because he's progressing so much and I can do what I've learned at home. He still needs some guidance and stuff, of course, but there's a lot of things that are coming along. Same with his fine motor skills. He couldn't push down the toaster to make himself some toast because his fingers weren't working. He would get halfway there and I would just help him push it down, but he wanted to make it toast by himself. Same with riding a bike without training wheels. He couldn't do that. Holding a baseball bat, we had to get a smaller baseball bat, a lighter weight, because he wanted to hit from the coach and not off the tee. And most of the time now he can hit from the coach almost every single time with a heavier bat. And he can make his own toast. He actually makes his 4-year-old sister breakfast sometimes.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing.
What level schoolwork are you doing this year? Do you remember?
First grade.
Yep.
First grade. Wow.
He'll take his tablet. We'll start it. If he has questions, he brings it to me, but most of the time he just flies right through it. And he couldn't even remember ABC 1, 2, 3 before.
Wow.
And he's reading books, right?
He's reading some little chapter books. Yeah, they're like a couple word lines, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a question. I have a question for Eli. Can I ask Eli? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you feel different since using the patches? Do you feel a difference in yourself than before?
Yeah. Before starting the patches, I couldn't be able to ride a bike without training wheels, but now I can do it.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. I don't know, Cheri, did he have much pain or anything that he would deal with on the daily before patching and stuff?
With the seizures, he would express pure exhaustion, obviously, but then he would tell me his head hurt quite often, and we couldn't decipher if it was a headache or just coming out of this, like, the vocal seizure for 30 seconds or something. But he just didn't have a lot of energy. He wasn't very full of life when he had to go through all of those things. He's a very active kid, and he loves to play with anybody. He loves anybody and everybody. He doesn't care who you are. He'll go with anybody. He loves everybody. But when he was having his rough spots, he would just come in for 2 or 3 hours just laying on the couch. He couldn't do anything. And I'm like, oh man, another hard day. And so getting out and doing stuff publicly, like going to the library or grocery store or anything, I didn't know when the moments would happen. So it was very hard to get out and live life. Even now, as he's progressing, I'm hoping that eventually he won't get overstimulated, because he still gets overstimulated if there's too much going on, or if he knows too much, or we just came back from the DR and he had a big struggle week because I was gone. So I'm hoping as time goes on, those things will start to heal too, because I'm seeing still that big struggle for him, and I know it frustrates him a lot.
Yeah.
But he's
Yes.
starting to figure it out and asking hard questions, things that a 3 or 4 year old mentally cannot ask. And he's starting to ask questions. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? You know?
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see some of his brain start to work, and it really is healing.
Well, and
Yeah.
it sounds like his coping mechanisms are right kicking in, whereas before he probably didn't have many of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No stranger danger either. So that was
Yeah.
a big panic for me when I brought him anywhere with my daughter, because I couldn't keep my eyes on both of them, because he's so friendly. You don't
Yeah.
have to offer him anything. He just go with you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, we can't do that. But I couldn't teach him that skill. And I'm like,
Right.
oh my gosh,
Right.
I'm going to lose my son if I walk out of this house, because he just goes because he loves everybody.
Right.
He still does. He just kind of can filter that through now. Like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I have to ask my mom. Same with his diet. With his disorder, he can't have a lot of things. And so it shuts down his organs if he has them. And before he would just, a stranger would hand him something and he would eat it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty diligent in watching him, but you can't always be there. And so that was a big fear of mine. Like, oh my gosh, the anxiety, I think that's what triggered more of my anxiety too, which, by the way, with patching, I have none.
Yeah.
No anxiety.
Yeah, because that helped you as well, right?
Yeah,
Your
I
anxiety.
completely like, I couldn't talk in front of people. I couldn't do Zooms. I couldn't stand up in front of people with a microphone, because I would either cry my way through it or not be able to speak, or I'd pass out.
Oh my gosh.
My
Wow.
anxiety
Oh, wow.
was so
And you
bad.
seem like such a natural now.
It feels so nice and refreshing that I don't have to worry about. I get a little bit fearful when I have to stand up on stage or something, but the anxiety is gone, so it's so relieving.
And so when did you add more patches? At what point did you add?
6 months in, when we started making some money, I added glutathione and carnosine, and now he wears my leftover Alavita.
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool. I love Alavita. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would be patching him full blown with that one when we make more money. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. And so he's been on the patches now for how long?
17 months.
17 months. So you guys started right around the time I did, I think, or
Okay.
a little bit before I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I noticed the biggest difference in the beginning, and now I still notice improvements,
Mm-hmm.
but it's slower, because it's doing deeper healing.
Yeah.
So Eli, what is your favorite patch?
My favorite is glutathione.
Some of my favorites
Love
too.
it. One of my faves.
What does the glutathione do?
And glutathione is a master detoxer and an antioxidant.
That's right.
Bingo.
That's right.
It's one of our faves too, Eli.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's very
And so
cool.
I noticed that you guys, you tandem, you do a lot of stuff. So he helps you do your presentations, and clearly he's very well educated on the patches and what they do. I see that you guys go live a lot when he's patching.
Yeah, I've seen it too on Facebook. Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. That's really cool, especially mother-son duo at such a young age and such a dramatic improvement.
Well, and I've heard a lot of speakers on stage and stuff, and just conditioning his brain to be an entrepreneur is, you just can't put a price tag on that. The other day he came up to me and he's like, Mom, I want to meet David Smith. And I said, oh, buddy, you will. And he's like, look what I made. And I said, oh, and I said, to turn the video on. I had no idea what he was going to present. And he's like, I made a robot, and this robot will light up and have drawers that has patches, and it will fly, so I can get patches all over the world.
Oh, how cute. Oh my
I think
gosh,
David might like that idea. I think he like that idea a lot.
I think he might too. That's
He
so
wants
cool.
to go on stage and meet David Smith. And I said, next time we go to conference, you're going to come with me, because I'm going to be an SPD, and you're going to get that award.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because he's been your partner through all this.
He's my reason
Yeah.
why, reason for everything that I have done, our invention. And then if I didn't have the invention, the idea, I would have never met Susan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
And now you most likely personally don't need it anymore.
well, personally, no, but
Yeah.
to be made, yes, because
Yeah.
the cot will service everybody from 0 to 300 pounds. So infants,
Oh,
toddlers,
wow.
elderly people,
Uh-huh.
because my invention pops open like a cot,
Mhm.
except for it has different features, and then a privacy pop-up tent that's 6 feet tall, so you can and it attaches to the cot, so you can change it and pop it open anywhere you are. It doesn't matter if you're camping, at the airport, at the hotel, restaurant. It fits everywhere you go.
Oh, that's so cool. And do you have a website where people can, is it still in the funding phase or can people purchase it?
You can't purchase it yet. We're looking.
Yeah.
We have 102 companies looking at us. We're trying to get it manufactured. We have a 20-year patent on it. Everything. We have a Kaba-Cot Facebook page, and so you guys can follow us if you want.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
more,
put that on the
more
video.
eyeballs we get for this, the better, because the
Yeah.
more eyeballs, maybe a manufacturer will be putting it out there, and you like see it, and then we'll put it out there. But
Right.
we don't know. We don't know what God will do. I would like to go on
You never
Shark
know.
Tank.
Yeah.
Shark Tank will have you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea for Shark Tank.
I just want to help a
especially with-
lot of people, and that was my mission, and it's always been our goal is to share hope, love, Christ patching all over the country, and we can do that with both Kaba and
Yeah.
patching.
Yeah, that's so cool. And you qualified for the DR trip. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
we got back at midnight this morning.
Oh my God.
My time.
Oh,
How
awesome.
fun. How fun. What a fun trip. And I thought the conference was great too. It was
It
amazing.
was so good.
Yeah. So good.
And you never know
So-
who you're going to run into.
Exactly.
No, that's right. We got to meet you. It was like all the people, Jodi and I were like,
yeah.
I'm like, there's that face, there's that face, there's
Yeah,
that face. That person did that. That one did
Yeah.
that. It was so funny. And then
Yeah,
it was
where's
like,
that woman?
Parents.
The woman who had a drastic change in her appearance in her face. And we were like, I saw her and I go, you're the woman with the face.
With the face.
She was like, yeah, that's me. And she looked even younger in person than she did in her picture. Like she had reverse aged even more so.
That is the coolest thing to see, as even Dr. Stacy will do her Zooms from a couple years ago, and you'll look at like, holy cow, like the reverse aging is just
Well, and
live
yeah,
right
because
before
her
your
face
eyes.
was like, inflamed, I think,
Mhm.
like puffy. And now it's like, she looks amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
so are ours. Like I've reviewed some of our old podcasts that we did when we were
Mhm.
together, and I'm like, oh man, we look so sick.
Yeah,
Not
well-
good.
Well, and it's funny because people will say, oh my God, what are you guys doing? Before we started really talking about the patches, what are you guys doing? You look totally different and younger and healthier and losing weight and that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, well, we're doing the patches. So, and Noeline has reverse aged, even though she doesn't notice it. Yes, you have.
True.
You
I
have.
don't know.
You have.
No, you have. We've got video evidence that you can go have a look
Yeah.
at, Nolan.
So I want to know, Cheri, how have you shared this with, like, was Eli part of a special group or a school or anything like that, or was he always from home? Like, was there a group of kids that have similar things that you were sharing this with or not?
No, we've always homeschooled him,
Mm-hmm.
but everywhere we go, it just pops out of our mouth.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I'm a part of a whole bunch of different groups on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of special needs mamas and kiddos, and same moms that have kids that have his disorder. So we've just been able to connect that way. And so I'm really excited to see what God does with helping a lot more families and starting
Yeah.
foundations and getting the foundations up and funded so we can fund and help families that can't afford patches.
Yeah.
I'm working with a lady right now that's actually doing that. So it's
Oh, that's so
really fun.
cool. That's one of our goals too, is to like fund a nonprofit that can fund the patches for people who can't afford them, especially
Yep.
parents.
Yep.
You know,
Because when you're hurting and you're going through so much, the last thing on your mind is trying to finance something else and
Right.
get something else to help with your special needs kiddo or adult. It's just, it's exhausting. All the paperwork and all the things you have to do just to get one product.
Right.
So I
Right.
was like, man, these kids need, these families need this. And if we can fund it, that would be, that's another reason for CABA. If God blows that up, there's so much funding I can use for patching people that can't afford it.
Yeah. Oh,
We're
that's
going to
great.
have it Eli's Foundation. So that's
Yeah.
the goal.
That's so
Oh,
great.
I
And
love it.
I just feel like this will help any children with any kind of cognitive impairment, not just what
Mhm.
Eli suffered from.
Yeah.
And I know I've seen a testimonial with Jalen, who had a kind of a similar, I don't know if you've seen that one, Jalen and Jalen's mom. And she's 16, and she had a very similar story to Eli. And her turnaround was quite rapid at 16. And because it wasn't like ADHD or something diagnosed. It was something very similar. It was a blood disorder. Is that what it was? I can't remember. Anyway, it was very similar story to Eli, and she had to be supervised 24/7. And it was just such a rapid turnaround, like Eli. It was
Wow. I would
very,
like to hear that story.
yeah, it's a great story. Yeah, because we've been trying to. We have a library of testimonials and the different categories and stuff because we try to send them out to our people so that they can look up stuff, because I feel like testimonials are the strongest way to understand
They are.
how they work and how quick they work and what kind of conditions they can help with. And I know Noeline has seen dramatic changes with some of the moms and the kids that she's been working with as well. Noeline, I don't know if you want to share some of those, but like Stephanie and
Yeah. So Stephanie has a little boy. He's 10 years old, and he was autistic. And she put the patches on him before she put them on anyone else in the family. And within a week or two, she was already calling and saying, look, we're already seeing differences, that he's able to cognitively start asking questions that he wasn't really asking before. And she could see that he was arranging stuff in his head into categories, which I'm watching with the other children that I'm working with. They're starting to be able to, match colors together and come up with more clear information. And certainly the children obviously the younger you start, the better it is, because you haven't had the years like we have. But she was so impressed with what happened with her son. She decided to try the patches herself. And I remember being on a call with her, and she had terrible eczema on her hands. And she showed me her hands and said, is this going to help my hands? And I said, well, I really don't know, because I really didn't know. And she is absolutely clear. And it was really painful, the eczema on her hands. And she's completely clear, no more eczema. And I also have floaters in my eyes. Anyway, the floaters have also gone. So together with her son, they've really, really done beautifully. And then I had another little boy come to see me just recently, and he is autistic, unfortunately, due to the third immunization, because he was born completely normal. And he's also doing beautifully. He's calmed down dramatically, and he is creating some organization, structure, but also he's starting to speak, because, of course, he became nonverbal at 18 months, and he's 5 years old. And he's making the sounds of the words, not yet the words, but the sounds of the words, which he's starting to make. So they're really excited. And I think last week was the first time he actually said a word. Wasn't a great word. Let's just get real. It was sugar. Yeah. But and his grandmother was so excited she gave him sugar. No, I didn't growl at her for that. But it is really amazing to watch how these children just come out of themselves and start to engage with the world, which is just heavenly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The testimonies are unreal. I just love hearing when you get around people at conference, and even I just want to stop everybody. Please give me your testimony. I want to hear it.
Oh, totally. And like, I love hearing Marcy's testimony. It's just every time I hear it, I start crying, you know? And I've had people recently, I have a friend who's been patching someone with stage 4 renal cancer who is dramatically improving quite quickly. And it just makes me cry, you know, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just so amazing. You know,
And the one, like you said, Cheri, the common feedback that people say when we introduce them to things, it sounds too good to be true. And it's like, but it is. So many testimonies.
I've tried so many things for him, and I was like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it until I believed it.
Yeah. And I feel like children respond quite quickly, quicker than adults, but it really all depends on, in my experience, the worse off you are, the quicker it works.
Yeah.
You know, the more serious condition you have, the quicker it works.
That's what happened to me. I got results in 24 hours.
Yeah. And I
I
feel
was
like
also a one patch wonder.
yeah, like, so it wasn't
Well, what was yours, Cheri?
Oh my goodness. I have broken 10 bones throughout my body, including my spine. And I've had multiple surgeries, open heart surgery, AFib. I couldn't work out and get my heart rate over 120, 130. 130 was pushing it, or I'd pass out or feel really lightheaded. So I was very hesitant to work out and push myself. I would just do enough to get the weight off. I've lost 70 pounds, but I just could not. I can't get to where I want to be. And then I had C-sections, but the last one, well, with him, I was so busy trying to save his life that it kept reopening, and I had a lot of infection because I had to move and be quick, try to save him. It was a very, really rough first month of his life and mine. And I was bleeding a lot. And this last C-section, they had to cut me deeper. I don't remember why. I just could not get a walk in, not even a mile walk in my belly would swell up 2 to 3 pant sizes. Every time I tried to do anything, carry my daughter was painful. She's 4 now, but when she was a baby, I couldn't carry up a flight of stairs. My knees would give out because I had reconstructive knee surgery and ankle surgery. And with my back pain, I was laying on the floor crying one day. Sorry, Bob. Crying like, God, I cannot live like this. The pain is unreal. The pain in my body, especially my back, was a level 7 to 10 every single day for 20 years.
Wow.
I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't take care of my kids. I can't fold my laundry because my stairs. I can't bring it upstairs and put my stuff away because who wants to go up and down stairs carrying only 5 items of clothing? It's like, this is stupid. I can't do it. And since patching, the first 24 hours, actually the first couple hours, I put the patch on my back. I haven't been able to vacuum my pool. I have an in-ground pool. But if I do it more than a few rows, then I hurt so bad. It's like, it's so relaxing. I want to be able to do it. And we opened the pool, and I'm like, you know what? I feel so good. I'm just going to test it out. I vacuumed the pool for 30 minutes. No back pain, no swelling, no inflammation. And I absolutely felt like my spine moved. It felt like the weirdest sensation, like an alien was going through my back. And I'm like, and it's sometimes still now, I can feel my spine still aligning because it's only been 17 months. And I'll I'll like scream because it hurts. But then I feel good. It's so weird. And then
and I tell people sometimes it hurts before it feels better, right?
Yeah. And my anxiety, like I said, was through the roof, but I can't take pain meds. Even when I broke my back, I said, I don't care what you do not touch me with pain meds because I'm allergic to aspartame, sucrose, sucrose, cellulose. That are genetically engineered. That's why I was staying away from meds. I had to make sure that these patches wouldn't affect me because I'm super, super sensitive. Even to this day, I have to move patches up, down, left, and right. I can't keep them in the same spot or I start getting a rash because my body just rejects everything. So I was afraid that I was going to reject the patches completely, but it's just things coming out like with a vengeance.
Wow.
And healing my body. I have 0 back pain.
That's unbelievable considering what you've gone through.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can work out and I don't have to worry about watching my heart rate real close. It doesn't matter. It's crazy.
That's
still-
so good.
I share his
So
story so much.
cool.
I know I'm missing stuff in mine because I don't have mine memorized, but that's off the cuff.
Wow.
But that's
But still, that's amazing.
Yeah, because pain is probably the number one thing people deal with right now is excruciating pain.
And
And
I
that's
was
what my
living
pain
that
went
like
away
that
too.
for so many
Yeah,
years.
and
For
mine was
20
only
years,
2
I had
years.
no hope.
Yeah, mine was only 2 years. Yours was 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I broke my back at, I think, 23. So it's been 20 years.
Wow.
Cheri,
And-
which patches did you use? Sorry.
I started with X39. I'm currently wearing X39. I started with X39 and Eon, and I'm currently wearing X39 Eon, Glutathione, SP6, and Alavita.
And how long were you, sorry if I may ask, how long were you on the X39 before you added the others in?
Same with Eli, about 6 months in when we started making more income.
So just 6 months of X39.
And Eon.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those
Thank you for that.
only
I
2
needed to hear
patches.
that.
Well, and that's what we try to start everybody on right now. And Gary Humberg was the one that said that's what he tries to start everybody on, to start simple and slow, because those two seem to work the best, especially for pain or any kind of, issue that you're having. And then, you kind of can go from there.
Yeah, Dr. Don calls it the dynamic duo.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It certainly is.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's
Certainly
usually
is.
people notice a difference with those two.
And I have one lady, I say, if you absolutely can't afford both, start with X39 and we'll go from there.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we tell people too. Yeah. Exactly.
I have patched people with Aeon and it helps, but that's the thing with the Aeon by itself. It's not it's not moving the repair forward. It's just again, it's like another.
It's like relief. It's like relief.
It is.
But
It's
not
relief,
repair.
but it's not repair.
Mhm.
And so, I have had someone I patched had amazing results, but then as soon as she ran out of patches, she went back to what she was dealing with before she started patching. So, yeah, at the very least, X39.
Yeah. Well, and I noticed too, my sister, she doesn't have any serious health issues, and she started with, I think, X39 and X49. And I think she's tried to add some, and then she stopped, and she said, I didn't really notice a difference. And, I know that, I think it's Gary that says, don't stop patching until you've had your miracle. And she said she noticed when she stopped is when she noticed she wasn't sleeping as well. She didn't have the energy. So she hadn't noticed those things until she stopped patching. It didn't reverse, any kind of progress, but those two things, she realized, wow, I need to get back on them because I'm not sleeping as well and my energy is not as good.
That's what happened with me. I was only on X39 and Eon, my anxiety went completely away. But then when I started adding Alavita, I was at a calmer state. And if I don't have Alavita now, my anxiety triggers.
Wow,
I
yeah.
can't forget
Alavita
it.
makes me calmer too. It makes me sleep so much better.
Yeah.
It's like it's a sounder, calmer, deeper sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a conk out, because Silent Night makes me conk out. I just, and I wake up and don't know where I am. But Alavita, it does, you kind of eases you into sleep, and then I sleep and I remember my dreams. And I seem to wake up calmer.
Dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same with me. And I feel calmer on Alavita. And Alavita has so many benefits that we didn't originally know. I know that it helps completely repair your entire digestive system. So, which I wasn't aware of until I went to the boot camp. They were talking about that. And I believe David Schmidt said it was the second most powerful patch next to the X39.
X39.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I noticed such a difference in my skin when I started using it. It was amazing.
Well, Cheri and Eli, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and jumping on with us today. We've been very excited because your story is one of our favorites, like we've mentioned. And I will be going through and editing our list so that it's all up to date. So, Eli, how old are you now?
11.
Until
You're
Thursday. Because Thursday
Oh,
he'll
it's
be
your
12.
birthday. Oh,
Oh,
happy
wow.
birthday for Thursday.
Happy birthday.
There you go. So I'll be able to update that. Then Eli at 12 years old. and then patching for 17 months, you said, Cheri?
Yep.
Awesome. And then is
And
there
we should-
anything else on this list that
We need to put in
in
there that they noticed a difference the first day and the first week, because that's huge,
Yeah,
especially for moms to
for
notice that.
sure.
And
Well,
part
we'll
of it is the
update
hope.
what he's learning,
Yeah.
because he would have gotten through more than 6 books by now.
Yeah,
Yep.
Countless books, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And I'll share that link again so people can have
Yeah,
a
for the
look at
cot.
your cot. I'm pretty sure, is that the link, Cheri? I'll just have a look, make sure I've got it right.
Yeah, the Kaba Dash cot.
And anything else that you and or Eli would like to say?
Is there anything that you would like to say? That you like about anything?
We're so happy for you, Eli, and you know you're a miracle, right? Yeah.
He said, mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's probably heard that enough, right? Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you in person again real soon.
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
for sure.
And we'll do a catch up. We'll do another one of these, in 6 months or so, and see where he is at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Progression and more progression, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Very
Thanks so
exciting.
much, Cheri. Thanks so much, Eli. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.